government fails us again and again and again. It's emails, various different stories we've done here over the years. Like, boy, Chris, you really can't stand, you really hate government workers. Whoa. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate government workers. I hate what they do. Big difference between the two. Anyway, I've covered many stories as of late, and they continue to pile up. And at some point in time, it has to sink in to people's heads that we have to stop relying on the government to fix things, to solve problems. Some recent stories. You can talk about the $300-400 Gaza pier. Absolute failure. We just covered the story on the program talking about the $7.5 billion. Again, do you have any idea how much money that is? The types of jobs, the wealth that could be created. Do you have any idea what an intelligent human being, an entrepreneur, could do with just a fraction of that money? $7.5 billion spent on 7 electric chargers there. That's, again, Inflation Reduction Act. Andy Kessler did the math. They said they want to get to the number. It's going to take 150,000 years at this pace. High-speed rail. California, we talked about this going back to when it was approved under the Obama administration. Again, from Andy's piece. 2008, Californians voted for about $10 billion in bonds for high-speed rail connecting San Francisco and Los Angeles. Again, 2010, we were talking about this when Obama was coming in, and he was, pushing this for other states as well. And we warned you what was going to happen. The whole project was supposed to be $33 billion, 800-mile stretch. So far, a 1,600-foot Fresno River viaduct has been built. We got a hodgepodge of guideways and structures. Got a long way to go, about 42,000 years to get this thing done. And the cost is now about $130 billion. California, again, got to solve the homeless problem. They've spent $24 billion over the past 5 years. The homeless population in that period of time has increased by 30%. 30%. Again, you could go on talking about all the failure of government deciding to pick and choose. It was an interesting one that was brought up was Jimmy Carter, 1979. Again, we're dealing with all of the oil embargoes and issues with OPEC. Carter wanted $88 billion, which, again, inflation adjusted, be $365 billion today, for a synthetic fuel corporation. Synfuels would enable U.S. energy independence. He got $20 billion for that. Didn't work out until we started actually utilizing, the private sector started utilizing technology, horizontal fracking, a million of other things. And now, you take a look at our country. We are the largest oil and gas producing country in the world, even despite the fact that, Joe Biden has stopped us from exporting LNG. Obamacare is another one. Anybody who actually pays for health insurance here in the United States knows how much their health insurance costs have gone up since Obamacare was enacted and what has taken place. Again, we were told we were going to lower our costs. Instead, it's skyrocketed. Skyrocket, again, for anybody who pays that isn't getting subsidies out there. Again, you can go on down the list. We're watching stories right now when it comes to COVID and Fauci and Wuhan. We funded that. Yeah, sometimes I'll get an email somebody. Chris, you're going too easy on the Chinese and COVID. We were partnering with the Chinese on that lab there. So again, why do you think our government doesn't want to delve too deep into it? And maybe at some point in time, the taxpayers will wake up and say, wait a second, my tax dollars were used to create a virus in China that killed my relatives? Now, I can't have that happen. You can't let that cat out of the bag here in this country. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on down the list. You talk about all of the money that was pumped out the door by the Trump administration and the Biden administration with economic injury disaster loans, paycheck protection program, federal pandemic unemployment compensation program, hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud. It didn't matter, according to Larry Kudlow, who's got a show on Fox Business. Larry, well, the big concern, you got to get that money out the door. Screw accountability. That was basically the, where they were taken. Didn't matter. Didn't care. Pump the money out as fast as you possibly can. Hey, when you're having the biggest violation in the history of the country when it comes to civil liberties and shutting the country down, hey, we got to keep everybody quiet by, pumping out as much money. We fell for it, folks. We bought it. And again, this happens everywhere. I talk about China here, again, the problems that they're having. And again, they keep doing the same stupid crap over and over and over again, expecting different results, bailing out this sector, bailing out that sector, subsidizing this, subsidizing that, not working. Kessler in his piece actually points out Saudi Arabia as well. There's Saudi Arabia. Yeah, we're going to build this multi-trillion-dollar city here, 106-mile car-free city in the middle of the desert. It was just cut back from 106 miles to 1.5 miles by 2030. Right. Think that's going to get done? Probably not. I don't hate government workers. I don't like what they do. They facilitate, again, they got their jobs. They facilitate the people that are in charge and take our money in and waste it. I read Andy's piece and stories that we cover here on the program on a regular basis. It comes to mind is that, you haven't seen it, it's kind of most certainly a dystopian movie. That movie, Brazil. All the government workers out there shuffling paper here, there, and everywhere, wasting more of mine and yours hard-earned tax dollars. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.